Want to take a look at some of the other names and retread options that have been linked to the Islanders? Like, I know we talked some Ken Holland. I don't think either of us would be a fan of that move.
Yeah, so let's take the pin out of the John Collins thing for a second there, because it kind of leads into this. Is our names were all young and new to the role of general manager, because John Collins is going to be running the ship in terms of the hiring process, minority owner of the team, had his run-ins with Lou, specifically with the way that Lou was running the team, or what Lou wanted to do. Now, I don't have any idea if John Collins is going to be a hands-on owner, which would be not a good idea. But I think he wants to be hands-on in terms of I want my team to do well, and when it's not, I want to know you're going to do something about it, which Lou was not doing. I think when it comes to this hiring process, we're going to see someone newer, just so he could have more sway, I would say, in terms of what they're going to do, instead of just like I'm going to hire a guy and then I can wash my hands clean. Like I want there to be some sort of accountability. And so I'm only going to get that, I believe, or he's only going to get that with someone who's a little bit newer to the job.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I would, if they were to pivot then to let's just continue using the example of Ken Holland. It's going to be exactly like how things were with Lou, where it's like almost, why are you going to question me? I've been doing this for 40 years and I have, look at these Stanley Cup rings on my fingers.
Yeah, it's one thing to be an owner who's in the GM's office every week. It's another when he's there at the end of the year going like, what the hell are you doing, man? Or when we're losing 12 games or whatever, 6 games in a row, and we're falling at the bottom of the NHL, like, how are you planning on getting us out of this? Or what are we doing about it? And your response is GTFO. No, and the owners don't want to hear that, man. None of them do. Well, maybe Scott Malkin. I don't know. I don't know. So I think when you got, I don't imagine we're going to see, when it comes to specifically the general manager, someone like Ken Holland, who, thank friggin' God, I don't think we're going to see him in that role.
No, I don't think so either. Sarvali has some other retread options on his list, and
yeah, he does.
Mark, you want me to just rattle through each name?
Yeah.
Mark Bergevin, Peter Chiarelli, Jarmo Kekalainen, Doug Wilson.
I'm okay with Doug Wilson, but he's 67 years old.
And had health concerns.
Yeah. Like, maybe he's fine out, right? Because Frank does say, like, he seems healthy enough. He's good to go. That to me is it's a president of hockey operations.
Okay,
maybe.
Yes. Or an advisor role, maybe?
Yeah, but not a general manager. This is not someone who's flying with the team day to day. Again, 67. That's young. That's 20 years younger, basically, than Lou Lamoriello.
I'm
Still,
okay.
No thanks.
I'm with you. I don't want Wilson as a general manager. President of hockey ops, maybe. I'm more in line with an advisor. If they want to add another, like with that title, then president of hockey ops, or just team president or whatever. Yeah. Like, I feel like that title almost holds too much power. Like, I think it should be the GM show. And if they want to have someone that they could lean on, have that.
Yeah, someone to run basically HR, if you will. And the reason I'm saying that is in that specific ways. Again, they're going to have to do a lot of hiring on the bit to the business staff, if you will, not necessarily just the playing staff. The GM's going to have a hard enough time figuring out the playing staff and the coaching staff effectively to run the day-to-day team. And then the president of hockey operations, alongside the general manager, I would imagine, is going to have to do all that hiring on the outside simultaneously. So they're going to need 2 people to do it. And maybe someone like a Ken Holland. No, not Ken Holland. A Doug Wilson. I don't want anything to do with Ken Holland. Someone like Doug Wilson will have a long enough reach to know, like, hey, if we want a new director of player scouting or professional scouting, here's where we go. A new amateur scouting director, here's where we go. A new developmental director, here's where we go, type of thing. That's where I see someone like Doug Wilson stepping in. But that's where I'm okay with Wilson, but I don't want anything to do with Holland or a guy like Chiarelli. What are we talking about?
No, God, no. Chiarelli, that's a joke. I'm sorry.
It is. I get it. He's been under the radar, doing his thing in St. Louis, and St. Louis has not fallen under. If anything, they've fallen up. They're tied 2-2 in their series with the Winnipeg Jets. Hilariously enough, won 12 games in a row to get them in the playoffs. But I don't want the general manager who gave up on Matthew Barzal and Jordan Eberle for question marks. No thanks.
Yeah, no. I'm all set there.
And it's not like, I know we've heard with, like, when Lane Lambert was fired, right? Sometimes a second placement usually gets the coach to where they need to be. They learn something from the first firing. This would be his third, Peter Chiarelli, his third job. He was Bruins GM, failed there, although people will say he got a Stanley Cup, but like it wasn't his team. And then he got the Edmonton job and completely tanked it, having McDavid. Like, no.
Yeah,
no
disaster.
Thanks.
Disaster.
No. Bergevin, he was brave in Montreal. He did some brave things in Montreal. It just didn't work. So maybe in Los Angeles now, he's learned a thing or two.
That's not a horrible option as, again, maybe some sort of advisory role or president of hockey operations.
Yeah. Although, and he's also played for the Islanders, although for like 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
So he's got that, but I don't think, even Frank says in his article that like there could be an opening in Los Angeles if oh my god, I forget their GM's name. Steps away. What's his GM's name there? Rob Blake, is it? I'm pretty sure it's Rob Blake. I just get him and Adam Foote mixed up.
It is Rob Blake. You're right. Okay. You're right.
It's like defensemen from that era, and I get Adam Foote and Rob Blake mixed up. They even look similar in my mind. I'm not saying they actually look similar, just in my mind. That might be opening up at some point. So like maybe Bergevin just kind of waits it out in LA.
Yeah, and like he's already a senior advisor in LA. So would he like leave that to come here and essentially do the same thing?
Yeah. The other name that he's got on his list a little bit further down is Brendan Pridham.
Okay.
From the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's been a special assistant to the GM to assistant general manager since 2014. And say what we will about the Toronto Maple Leafs, they have done a good job. At least when it comes to the regular season, in recruiting players, in finding talent, specifically in that period of time where he was assistant to the general manager or special assistant even, in rebuilding that team. That's what we're looking for. We need someone to retool, really, but rebuild in a way.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.